So today's plan for this video is I'm going to be answering a few questions that you guys have asked me. Just a little quick Q&A. I actually had several questions that I combined into one, so hopefully we can get through these pretty quickly. So Not So Grim wanted to know, are there any colors that I enjoy using the most? That's a really great question. I would say at the moment my favorite colors to use would be a dark green and a deep purple, and I really like using both of those together. Pieces by Michael wanted to know if I ever use Sharpies on any of my projects. I rarely use Sharpies, but I have before. Usually if I use a Sharpie, it's usually for a background and I use it as a base color where I put my color pencil over top, and that just makes my color pencil look darker. And Green Witch and Crow asked what my favorite subject to draw was. I love drawing any kind of food, but breads and pastries are by far my favorite things to draw. I don't know why. I love the texture of breads. I also love to eat bread, so maybe there's a connection there. Yeah, breads and pastries, definitely my favorite things to draw. The Life of Stephanie asked how I choose my color palette. That's a really tough question to answer. Usually when I paint something, it comes from a reference, so I'm usually trying to match the colors as close as possible to my references. I do occasionally use swatches and kind of see, you know, what goes together and what doesn't. I mostly just go on feel. If I think it's gonna look good together, then I'll use it. I don't really have a direct answer for that, I don't think. Just whatever I feel looks good. Mousky Art asks what's my favorite medium and why. Right now I've really been focusing on colored pencils, but overall watercolor is definitely my favorite medium to use. Magically Vintage Life asked if I were stuck on an island and could only bring one thing, what would it be? Oh my goodness, that is a very tough question. Well, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, I think, and because I don't think that I could live on an island without Josh or Mort, so I'm gonna say my family. That's cheating, isn't it? And then I have another question from Magically Vintage Life, and she asked my biggest pet peeve, art related. What is my biggest pet peeve? I think with myself, I get pretty irritated with myself when I don't take my time making sure that colors don't smear or run over into the white parts of the paper. I'm extremely bad for having completed a piece of art and there's little smudges and paint droppings and things like that all over my paper, and that drives me absolutely crazy. And then I have a couple questions that several of you asked, so I just lumped them all together. Kind of how I get out of a slump, or what do I do if I'm stuck and can't paint or not feeling creative. This one's a tough question too, because I think it's different for everybody, but also it's different day to day. Like sometimes it's easier for me to get out of a slump if I watch a bunch of illustrators or artists that I really like, and they kind of inspire me to get back into it. Sometimes I just need to take a break. Sometimes when I'm in a slump, it's just because I'm burnt out and I need to take a break and focus on anything other than art. I like to, you know, hang out with my family, go out to dinner, go, you know, bowling. I don't know. Just anything to take my mind off of any kind of artwork or any kind of pressure to get anything done. Another question that I got a lot was like what was my favorite tool or my favorite pencils to use or favorite art supply. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with erasers and pencil sharpeners. Oh my goodness, I don't know what my favorite tool is or my favorite art supply, because I love all of my pencils. I mostly use polychromos, as most of you all know. And then my final question comes from Finley Elliott Artwork, and this is such a tough question. It's a great question, but it's so tough. She asked if I had unlimited time and money, what piece of art would I make? What would I make? I feel like when I read the question the first time, my mind went to a medium that I've never used before, and so I don't know why I thought that, but the first thing that I thought about was I love stained glass, and I've never done it and I've never tried it, but I would love to. And if I had unlimited time and money, I would love to create like a house made completely of stained glass, like not to live in, but just, you know, to look at. So that's all the questions that I have for this video, but thank you guys so much for all the questions that you sent in to me. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos with voiceovers like this, little question and answers. Thank you guys so much. Bye bye.